Hey Philly weather peeps, Sean with Bread and Milk here. Just wanted to give you an exciting update on a look ahead for the next week or two in one of the best looking patterns I've seen in quite some time. And I do exaggerate a little bit, what can I say? I am a snow weenie. I do love the snow, I do love the cold, and based on what we had in December with everything being completely opposite of what we were looking for, this is a much better setup. And let me show you what I mean. So we're looking at the Gfs Ensembles, which is a computer model that the United States puts out, and the ensemble is basically taking the operational model or the main model, making some slight adjustments to the starting assumptions, and then spitting out dozens of variations of that. And what it does, why I prefer to look at the ensembles compared to just the single main operational run, is when you see agreement amongst all of the ensemble members, that means that there's a pretty good chance that whatever that looks like is going to occur. So while there is certainly a good overall pattern, which we'll see in a moment, it doesn't guarantee that we're going to get snow, but if we see on the horizon a lot of agreement amongst ensemble members, that's a good sign that's something that is coming forth. So here we are, we're looking for the main things as we discussed before. So for the ideal snow pattern setup for us overall, we're looking for a ridge on the west coast, in what's called the PNA. Ridge ideally up into Alaska to tap into the cold air from the Arctic and bring it straight down, and ridging into Greenland. This is Greenland up here. You want to see red or ridging coming over here. That usually just slows the flow up to allow storms to first of all come a little farther south and also slow down coming up the coast if you do have a coastal, versus zip out like the past couple storms have done. So when I put this into motion, keep an eye looking for the ridge out west. We're looking for a trough in the east, and ideally we're looking for some red or ridging coming up into Greenland. So putting this into motion, this is starting today, and you can see on the west coast, the ridge pretty steady. That's going to change, come and go, but overall, the general state of affairs is a ridge out west. And you can see up here in Greenland, here we are on Friday of this week, so 5 days away, some Greenland ridging poking up. Out west, you can still see that red ridge. Here we have this deep trough. Look at this, these lines are basically the flow of air is coming straight down from the Arctic Ocean all the way down to the continental United States. So you have a very cold supply of air. You mix a cold supply of air with moisture, and if you see these lines here, so this is the Pacific Ocean coming from the Pacific to the southeastern United States. This is called the subtropical jet stream. So you have multiple jet streams that are running through here. The subtropical jet stream, which is very unusual when you have a La Nina setup, which we haven't talked much about, but typically this kind of goes to sleep. This year it's not though. So the moisture and energy and wind, high winds are streaming from the Pacific Ocean straight into the southeast. You have your Pacific jet stream, polar jet stream coming down from the north. And when these two or three combine, what are called phasing jet streams, is when you can get your larger storms. But in general, ridge on the west coast, trough on the east. You can see some ridge poking into Greenland. Really an ideal setup, and this continues all the way through the run. The ensembles are run on a 15-day cycle. This goes all the way through January 25th. No guarantee, very low accuracy at this point, but just showing just a remarkable turnaround from December, and that is why I'm excited. So let's look at just a quick snapshot of the temperatures that are coming in tonight. Here we are looking at the North American model, and here we are right now. This is being recorded Sunday late afternoon, and the cold front is on its way through, and you can see here's Philly right here. Just look at the cold air that's kind of, so there's a northwesterly flow. Now the Great Lakes help modify this air, so while you see the -20 up by International Falls, Minnesota, that will not make it that cold all the way down here. Still, with that said, it'll be the coldest air of the season so far. Here we are on Monday around lunchtime. It's in the teens in the Poconos, in the 20s in the Philadelphia area, so it'll be staying below freezing in most areas. Going into Monday night, it'll be a nice chilly night. You can see even some single digits, potentially even below zero, creeping down into the Poconos for the Philadelphia area, looking at mainly the teens, maybe some single digits in the coldest suburbs. Tuesday will be the coldest day of this particular cold snap. Temperatures may not even get out of teens in certain parts of the Philadelphia area. The city itself will probably get into the 20s. Still, very chilly day. Monday will be a bit breezy as well. So you're going to feel it. And as we get into Tuesday night, it's still chilly in the teens. So that's the short range. Let's get a little bit farther look out in the future and see what storms are on the horizon. All right, so here we are again looking at the Gfs Ensembles. And what I want to show you is the ensemble is just 20 members, 20 ensemble members. Again, ensemble means you take the operational model or the main computer model that the GFS spits out. You make slight changes, slight different assumptions to the starting position from day 0 and then move it forward. And again, if you're seeing a lot of the same solutions projected out in the future, there's a lot more confidence that is going to occur. So I just want to show you this, that just to see what kind of threats that we have, because there's really nothing concrete yet for the Philadelphia area, but just to show you how active it is. Here we are, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday the 13th. Now the first storm that we're going to see is a really strange offshore storm that's going to form off the southeastern coast. It almost kind of looks like a hurricane, kind of similar to Hurricane Sandy. Not saying it's going to be like that or affect us. It'll probably stay offshore. But a very strange storm that starts down by almost the islands off of Florida and comes up slowly up the East Coast. Might affect eastern Jersey and especially New England. My gut tells me it'll still stay offshore. And honestly, the faster this gets offshore, the better odds the next storm will actually affect us. So to get this out of the way, here we are on Saturday next weekend, and we can start seeing the first wave that has potential of impacting us. So you can see greens and blues. The greens are rain, the pinks are sleet, the blues are snow. Again, the specifics don't matter. I just want to show you how much agreement is there amongst the ensemble members. So this is Sunday, January 16th. This is a week away, so a lot's going to change. We can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Over half of them are showing some sort of system around the Mid-Atlantic by next Saturday or Sunday. So right there off the bat, I'm saying, oh, that's pretty decent confidence this far in the future. This is something to keep an eye on. You can see into Monday. Now, it's just some are going to have timing differences. This could be the same storm that we saw on Sunday on other ensemble members impacting us on Monday. You get the idea. Keep this thing moving forward. You can see just wave after wave coming up the coast or from west to east. The ones that are going to be the most impactful typically are going to be coming up the coast or reforming off the coast. Those are your nor'easters. And you'll see on various ensemble members that some of them are appearing. Here we are way out 2 weeks down the road. This is going to be wildly inaccurate, but I'm just showing you just to give you an idea of the level of excitement I have on the pattern. You can see there's a big nor'easter right there. Wouldn't that be great? Just lock that in right now for Saturday, January 22nd. And we'll finish out the run up to day 15. So that is just to give you an idea, just on the surface. So I'm seeing a lot of signals. You have the general pattern, as we talked about, which is ideal for getting cold air into our area and ideally getting the storms to go down to the south and come up the coast. So this is the flow we're looking for. We have a big ridge on the west coast all the way through Alaska. Tap it into the Arctic air, dropping it down into the central plains, into the eastern United States. Storm systems are going to come up the coast. Not always going to hit us. They might go off the coast. And a little bit of ridging earlier in time on into Greenland, which I'll snap back here on Thursday the 20th. So that's a great setup for what we're looking for. And then here we are. This is the European model. The European model has historically been the world's most accurate computer model. It has been struggling a little bit as of late. However, it's still the most respected computer model. So if this shows that there's potential storms, then we in the weather community certainly perk our ears up. So here we are. This is Thursday of this week, January 13th. Now Thursday, you're going to have a little bit of a clipper system. A weak system goes through that might bring some flurries or sprinkles. That'll just bring in some Arctic air to set the stage for a potential coastal. As we saw earlier on the GFS Ensembles, there were a variety, over half of the ensemble members were showing some sort of system affecting the Mid-Atlantic, and here we are, the European. This is their operational model. They do have an ensemble as well, but I don't have access to that. You have to pay for it. So maybe one day. But anyway, the European operational is showing that same system that we saw in the GFS Ensembles. Now, again, the specifics of what this spits out is irrelevant because it's going to change in the next model run. But you can see just a significant storm being projected by the European. In this case, affecting the southern Mid-Atlantic, but again, this will change tomorrow when it's run again. Go past that one, and then you have another system, another coast. See how they're coming up from the southwest to the northeast? I mean, this is ideal. And again, it makes sense, given that flow that we saw with the ridge out west and the trough in the east. It's going to come dip down through the central plains and then come up the coast. So keep an eye on these two. So that really the first threat is next weekend. and then again on the middle of the following week. And thereafter, it just keeps coming and coming. So eventually this pattern will break down. For now, let's enjoy it the most we can. I would ask you, if you haven't already, check out my Facebook blog, Bread and Milk. It's at Philly Bread and Milk on Facebook. That is the only spot, aside from YouTube, for videos that I am reporting anything right now. I'll eventually get on other social media platforms, but hey, let's start simple. So take a look at that, like the page if you can, follow it, you'll get updates, and whenever there's a system coming, I'll be posting a lot more fervently, and we'll keep an eye on things. But hey, I just wanted to give you that update, and I will keep you posted on anything exciting that is coming down the pike.